Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I am so excited to be back with you for Pink and Main. We are going to make a super fun birthday card. I saw people already in the comments. Yes, Virginia, it is one of the cupcakes from the March release. So we had two that came out in March. Let me grab the other one just so we can see what that one looks like. This one with the raspberry to me looks a little bit more grown up, maybe a little more elegant, right? I could see this more as like a Mother's Day card or like a wedding card, right? It's a little more sophisticated, but the one we're using tonight is this guy, which is the cherry cupcake. And to me, it's just like a little more fun, a little more whimsical. And so we're going to make it a birthday card because I just think it's so cute. It has the cherries and the little flowers, and I think it's going to be adorable. So I did see a ton of people already checking in. So yeah, Virginia's here, Judith, Lori. I saw Darla checking in from Indiana. Irma's back here to hang out. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen you. I'm glad you're back. Irma's checking in from Southern California. Let's see, we got Susan checking in from Cole, Georgia. It's not supposed to be cold there. We got Maria checking in. Mary's checking in from New Jersey. Jeanette's here. Melissa. Virginia says she's got both of those cupcakes in her cart. She's ready to go. Barbara's here. My Aunt Wendy's here. Hey. So I'm so excited to see everybody. Thank you all for checking in. Yeah, so tonight, like I said, we're going to work on that birthday card with the little cherry cupcake. But before we jump in, I want to share, if you've been here hanging out, you might remember this card that we made as part of our sneak peek week. This was our super, super cute card with the Sakura blooms, this stamp set that came out. This is a Pink and Main and Mommy Lay collab, kind of, right? Like Mommy Lay designs the images, illustrates the images, and then Pink and Main makes the stamps. And I don't know if you all know, but Mommy Lay also has her own business called the Little Bits Box. And I was lucky enough to receive some PR, and I wanted to share it with you because if you love this little image right here, oh, look at that. She's on our little journal. Oh my gosh, so cute. And then I'm not going to go through the whole. Well, that was interesting. My phone just decided to change our whole layout by itself. Hey, interesting. I must have a ghost in my computer. Let's try that again. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I do have these really cute stickers as well. So we have the little tea mug from the stamp set. That wreath that we used and we love has its own little sticker. And then the little blossoms from inside. That same sweet little bear. Where is she? There she is. All these little stickers. So if you're a planner person or you love, decorating like a journal or a junk journal, anything like that, planner girl, check out littlebitsbox.com because her and Pink and Main are like BFFs, and we love supporting our friends, other small businesses, and lovely women in our community. So I wanted to shout her out for that before we dive in to our project for tonight. So I saw a couple more people. Angie's checking in from Northern Florida. Jeanette says she has a cherry cupcake, but you haven't played with it yet. So hopefully tonight will give you some good inspiration and motivation to break that stamp out of its packaging. Suzette is checking in from Canada. Beverly's checking in from New Hampshire. Terry's from Minnesota. We are really all over the place, you guys. I love it. The Pink and Main fam is just taking over the country and the North America and even beyond, right? We had somebody a couple weeks ago from Australia checking in. That just made my heart happy. Okay. Sue's checking in from Massachusetts. It's got to be cold up there, Sue. Okay, let me get out of solo mode. Okay, so here is our pile of stuff. I showed these before for reference too. Let me see if I can find my finished card. I want to show you guys the scale of how these cupcakes look. Of course, I'm not going to find it now, right? I'll just give it up to a card. I'm supposed to put it on the card basis anyway. Let's see. Feels like two. It's not, I guess. So when we're looking at an A2 size card, like this, our cupcakes can be the entire feature of the card if we want them to be, right? Like they are substantial. And that's what I love about them. You can really knock one of these out super quick if you needed to. We're going to take our time. We're going to color. We're going to layer with a couple different elements because we can. But if you needed a card quickly, these would be amazing to have in your stash ready to go for birthdays because super impactful with one product. You know that I have simply not gotten my fill of the colorful ink spot paper because it is just so beautiful. I cannot get enough of all of these colors. I love the brights. I love the rainbows. We use the greens like last week. I even love that. I really thought that that would be the combination I struggled with the most, and I loved it. So I haven't quite decided what color family we're going with for tonight's card. I kind of want to change it up. I'm thinking maybe like the pink purple with the cherries. We could do more like pinky cherries instead of red, and that could be really cute because I think our stamp is whimsical enough that we don't have to go realistic, right? Why? It's not drawn realistic, so why would we bother trying to make it colored realistic? So yeah, everybody's saying they're loving the paper. Hey Dawn, thank you for checking in. Yeah, Suzette said she loves the vibrant colors. Virginia's got hers on the way. Annette's checking in from snowy Montreal. Oh, I know I'm over the weather, and we've been pretty lucky here in Delaware, so I can only imagine for you Canadians what that is like right now, and even New England. I did grab Pebble cardstock. This is one of my all-time favorites too from Pink and Main, just a good classic neutral. So we're going to play with, some color and some neutral, kind of layering them up on each other. And to help us with that, we're going to do some dry embossing, doing a little smattering of a couple techniques. I wouldn't say everything because we might heat emboss, but I wasn't planning on it. And we're not going to foil because we foiled on Tuesday, right? I think we foiled on Tuesday. My weeks are really starting to run together, guys. Okay, what I want to do first is get these stamped so we can set them to the side to dry. I did not stamp them ahead of time. So let's do that. I'm going to grab a piece of my Copic Express It paper, pop that in my Misty, and grab my asphalt ink. Oh yeah, freezing rain is no joke. We had hail here today for over a half hour straight, just nonstop hail. And I grew up in the South. At least a couple years of my youth were spent in the South. And so hail to me means tornadoes. So it was very jarring to just have 30 whole minutes or more of hail today. That was not fun. Spring snow should be gone by next week. Annette, I sure hope so. Right? By next week, we'll be almost a whole month into spring. It better go away. Just that Ontario is usually still snowy. even on the 17th of April. I get March snow, I really do, but April is just unfair. Oh, that did a pretty good impression. I think on Tuesday, I thought I needed to re-ink my ink pad, but I think I just didn't prep my stamp good enough. Hey, Julie. Glad you could make it and check in with us. Just going to wipe off that extra ink. We got a really good impression with that, with just two inkings. So that definitely tells me that the issues I had the other day were a me issue, not a ink or stamp issue. Oh, more Easters in April. No, thank you. I want to use the new Let's Celebrate stamp set for our sentiment, but I'm leaning yay for cake, but I am torn of whether I want that to be stamped in a color or black. So I think we're gonna wait till the end to deal with that because we won't have to worry about it drying. We're not gonna Copic color it. Need a new marker. So that should be fine. Let's get all of this situated over here. And we can prep our card base now and start figuring out what colors we were going to have showing, how much we want to trim our pebble cardstock down so that we can see like what's actually going to show as far as like our color scheme is concerned. Right, I'm trying to think like how far over. Because if we do it this way, we're going to get pretty much no purple showing, right? There's only very little purple and it'll probably be covered up in the middle. And if we went this way, we'd again have very little. It'd be a little purple here, but the pink and the teal would be a lot stronger. I think I want like this so that we're getting the teal, the pink, the purple, and a good bit of that. So instead of just cutting from the corner, we're going to come over a little bit. So let's trim a little off that side. And obviously you don't have to do all of this, right? You could just trim whatever you want, whatever section you like the best. All right, so 5.5 by 4.25. Yeah, Irma, I'm really loving this. It's the colorful ink spots paper. And I just think it's so pretty. All right, and then this guy, what size are you? Let's see what this actual stamp size is. So from the base to the tip of that stem is 3 3/4. And it's from petal to petal, it's about 2 3/4 wide. So we definitely know that this way has to be at least 3 3/4, which I think I'm worried a whole inch is going to be too much to take off. Let's do 3/4. So let's go 4 3/4 long by, what's that, 3.5? Yeah, and I think that is still going to give us a good bit of space and still some room at the bottom for our sentiment. I know we're still covering up a lot of paper. And like, seriously, there's no wrong side. I do kind of like that better. Just kidding. We're going to do that side. It was meant to be. All right, before we do our pebble though, we are going to dry emboss it with our, oh, it has a cute name. It's in the description. It's like Let's Polka, like the dance, Let's Polka, polka dot embossing folder. And you guys might remember the other day I talked about how you should always put your embossing folder in hinge side first, and that just to trust me because I spoke from experience because it'll crack your embossing folder. This is the embossing folder that happened to. So you can see my packing tape where it split, and I had to put it because I put it open side first into my die cutting machine. So learn from my mistakes. But I do want to add some fun texture to this, and I thought the cupcake has polka dots, our background has polka dots, so let's just go full force. Let's stay on theme, and we'll do polka dots on our back tone on tone layer. So I'm going to sandwich this hinge side first into my big shot, which for me is both plates are both like flipping plates. I don't know what those are called. I put it in between both die cutting plates, and my big shot has those like big plastic fold over pieces. So with both of those open. Carrie Rhodes is here. That's exciting. Hi, Carrie. I watch your videos all the time. I'm just going to fangirl over here. So this is what the Let's Polka embossing folder looks like. And I love this one especially. This is one of the first ones that I had like ever had. And I love it because you get the dots popped up, but I also love how it looks with the dots pressed in. I think that's such a fun look. The first time I ever used it, I used it this way. And I just think it gives such a fun texture. This one kind of reminds me of like a bubble wrap. So either way, I think we're gonna go dots out tonight. Let's just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. And I just love, they're both pretty, but I am really feeling this lighter, brighter background. So I think it fits our whimsy feels that we're going for. We are gonna glue this level down flat so that I can pop up my cupcake with foam tape. And I, for sure, we will be adding some confetti tucked in and around that cupcake as well. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, this paper pad is just like there's no wrong choice. It's so pretty. All right, and I'm gonna be good because Carrie Rhodes is here, and we're gonna put this. Also, my mom's watching, and if you guys have been here for a while, you know that my mom always asks why I don't add my card fronts to my card bases right away. So here we go. We'll go ahead and pop that right onto our card base. Now I have no excuse to not get it sent out. Oh, Misty said it's even raining in San Diego. You know it's bad when it's raining in Southern California. It's never supposed to rain there. I remember that from the OC. All right. See, the problem is, Carrie, that most of the time, if I wait to the end, I just don't add my card front to a card base at all. And then I just have bins of card fronts sitting at my desk. So that's always fun. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we're pretty much caught up. We're going to go ahead and start coloring. I am going to keep my pattern paper here for color reference. I really want to infuse a lot of the color in the flowers, the cherry, and the wrapper. So I think we're going to go a little more neutral on the actual cake itself. So let me Let's just keep it vanilla, and we'll kind of use that pebble as an influence kind of for the tone of our off-white that we're going for. Let's go 30s. Nope, let's not go 30s because my 30 itself is dry. Let's go 50s. I'm going to grab my E53 and I'm going to decide that this bottom layer is Cupcake and this is icing, these top two little bumps. So I'm going to follow the artist drawn lines here and start adding my shading kind of where that icing meets the cupcake and then thicken that up where those little like hatch marks kind of are. And then there would also be some shadow where that meets the wrapper, the little cupcake sleeve. I don't know. So that was 53. Then we're going to jump down to 51 and start pulling that color out. And this is going to be nice and soft, but that's okay because this is going to be like the least exciting part of the whole cupcake. So it's okay if she's more like a background player. Going in with the 50. I think we don't have quite enough contrast. So we'll go back in with the 53 one more time while our paper is still nice and saturated from our markers. And add some more of that shadow back in. And we can also go in and kind of stipple in some color right around where that is drawn in as well. So that's just going to start giving us like a base to work off of. Beverly, I use Copic sketch markers, but Pink and Mean does carry the Olo markers, and we were talking about them on Tuesday because I found as I was coloring one of my markers was dried out, and that's kind of been an ongoing issue with Copics in the last couple of years, year or two maybe. So I haven't personally used the Olos yet, but I would do some research if I were you, if you're looking to start using alcohol markers. Let's see, Leslie's checking in from British Columbia. Cindy's checking in from Monterey. Virginia said she's never not added a card base. Virginia, I aspire to craft like you because I have bins here next to me, and I'm not kidding. I would tell you maybe one in that whole bin is attached to a card base. So it is very much not my strong suit. Okay, looking at my paper, right? My cherries, I know I want pink, which makes me think that my flowers would be really pretty in this kind of daisy yellow. And I really want to pull in these like teals or blue. And then we also have purple. So teal icing just seems a little much for me. So maybe like a pale pink, right? We have some really light bubblegummy pink. So I think I'll do a really pale pink on the icing. We'll kind of keep it warm toned up top with hot pink cherries, yellow flowers, and then the bottom can be our teal, blue, and purple. I kind of like how that sorts itself out. Yes, Gary, now I'll have two added to card bases. That is true. So let's start with our soft pink first. And that does look pretty true pink to me. Like so we're going to go with our R markers versus like the cherries, we're going to do some RVs. And the same way that we treated the cupcake, we're going to start adding our shadows where one element overlaps another. And we're going to really emphasize that shadow on those places where the artist has already told us that there's more shadow. So that's our R22. Then we'll jump up to R21. And blend that out. And I'm leaving a lot of light space at that bottom because I really do want this to still pool light. I'm still looking for very light pink out of all of this. In fact, I think for my lightest, I'll even grab an R00. And really leave that nice highlight right at the bottom. So that's starting to give us a little bit more of an idea of where this is headed, right? And we can see that's tying in really nicely with that light pink. So we are going to jump now to our yellows, just because I like to leave my like bright reds and my bright RVs to the end in case I touch them accidentally. My dog is going crazy behind me. Today is her 4-year gotcha day anniversary. I was so excited to open my phone and see all of our little baby dog Luna puppy pictures today, even if she is crazy and wreaking havoc on the floor behind me. So I'm going in with Y19 and I'm just starting to flick and pull some color through the petals of these flowers. This is what's going to pull into that that like golden yellow in our background. Then we'll jump up a couple and we'll go Y15. And I'm just going to start kind of pulling that out, filling that space, but I'm not going to take that color all the way to the end of the petal. I want to make sure that we still do have some spot for our lightest, softest yellow, because our background does have like a really like range of yellows. So then we're going to jump all the way to Y11. And that one I'm going to start at the tip of the petal and pull down towards the rest of the color. That's just going to help it to stay kind of true and blend itself out. And it's also going to help me stay in the lines. And make sure I'm up here in the screen. How about that? Okay. I think a little W3 maybe on these center sections just to kind of break up that white. I'm not super concerned about those. Dawn said she doesn't have Copics, but she does have some of the Olos, and they're working really well for her. Carrie said she's dealing with some refills, trying to get her Copics to get it together. It's just so stressful, man. I saw Karen checked in. I'm glad that you love this cupcake. That makes me so happy. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we were showing the raspberry cupcake at the start too, kind of a more elegant version. And then we have our cherry cupcake that's a little bit more whimsical. So yeah, I was excited to color this one and make it a little more fun and like poppy. I do want to have some good contrast with these cherries because I feel like they're the thing that it makes most sense to pull in a little bit of a darker color. Where's 23? Are you hiding? Hello? RV23. Julie said she can taste the cupcake already. Love it. All right, so I'm going to start with my RV69. We're going to add some shadow where that stem hits. And again, the artist has drawn these rounded lines for us. So because they are long, smooth lines like that, to me, that's saying that there's a reflective highlight here. So I'm going to follow that as my guidance. I don't know that, right, for sure. These are just the decisions I'm making as I'm evaluating this stamp. I don't have like an inside hookup with the artist for these. But to me, that looks like a reflective highlight. So we're not going to put our darkest color all the way to the edge. We're going to leave some space so that these look nice and shiny, which makes sense. Cherries, fresh cherries are definitely shiny. So then we're going to come in with RV29 and start pulling that color out. That is a pretty big jump, but if we take our time and really let our marker lay on that paper, we should be able to get a nice transition between those colors. Because even though it's a 60 to a 20 jump, it's still a 9 to a 9. And when you're dealing with Copics specifically, that's kind of the rule of thumb. You either want the first numbers to be the same or very close, or the second numbers need to be the same. If you want an easier transition. I mean, the rules are made to be broken, so play around and have fun and experiment. But if you're trying to practice or set yourself up for an easier blend, those are a good rule of thumb to kind of color by. So we went 29, we're jumping to 25, RV25. This marker definitely needs a refill. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in that outer section with this because I think my 23 is just going to be too light. It's going to look silly. And I think that up against that light frosting would also not be a great decision. I'm going to set this marker aside. She is definitely going to need a refill after this. Okay. Make it work. Julie's out here making 6 dozen cupcakes. Party at Julie's house. We're all coming. I want a cupcake. All right, then going in with that RV23, and that's going to help soften and blend where my dry marker was kind of struggling. But I think that that looks super fun, right? A little more graphic maybe than I would have gone for on my own. But maybe that's for a reason. I really love how that shading looks. So we have our yellow, our hot pink, our light pink. Now we're going to start working on these teals, blues, and purples on this really fun wrapper. So what I'm picturing is teal cupcake cup with navy blue and purple dots. So I think we're going to go BG49. Why do I have tape on that? Who knows? This marker needs to be cleaned. All right, so we're going to go 49. And I'm going to, again, leave a little reflective highlight on that edge, but not as much as on the cherries, right? This one's going to be a lot more subtle. I'm really close to the cherries, or to the edge. Sorry, I was reading a comment that said cherries. And I also think that Using the teal for this is going to be easier because I'm trying to avoid my dots. But if any of my marker gets in there, the purple and the navy blue are going to be much better at covering any mistakes than the other way around. Just going to pull that in like that. We are going to, let me pull out my hex chart because now I'm starting to question myself. I use the Sandy Alnock hex chart. We just did BG 49. So I think we're going to jump to, usually I go 15, but I think we're going to go to 7 over here. Reference. BG of 7. That's definitely more blue than green, but I don't hate it. And we can probably pull some more of the green back in with our lightest. That's the tricky thing with the BG markers. You don't quite know. And they look different when they're dry. All Copics dry a little different than how they look when you're first applying them. But I'm thinking BG 13 because I know that that pulls green. So if we overlap that color, we can kind of glaze and blend all of these together to get that look and that color that we're going for. Oh, I see D's here. Welcome, welcome. I keep telling my husband one day our lives are going to get big enough that I'm going to have to recruit him like Gina K. And she has Tom help her and read all her comments so she doesn't miss anybody. He said he's up for it when we need him. All right. So I love how that turned out with our pretty little wrapper. And I still think that in general, this is all still working the way I want it to work. The yellow, look, there's my husband in the comments. He is in fact ready. He's showing off his muscles. My yellow on camera is looking a little less golden than it does in person. So I'm going to add just a tiny extra hint of that Y38 so that you see it the way that I see it. And we're not going to have to blend this out either. I just think it's going to add, yeah, just a little more of that golden. Yeah, that's the vibe. All right, so our last two that we need to work in is this like navy true blue and then this little bit of purple. Suzette said she's ready. The cherries look real. Love that. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Carrie said BG 13 is her favorite. Perfect. All right, so let's go. It looks brighter. I mean, my default is always the B90s, but that doesn't feel like the right vibe. So let's go B20s. They're a little bit brighter, a little more of like a true, I don't know, kind of like cobalt maybe is what I'm looking for. I feel like that scene in The Devil Wears Prada, talking about cerulean blue. How many do we want blue versus purple? Blue. We can have a couple of blues together down here. And then some purples. That's good. So that was B29. Let's jump to B26. And then let's pop up to B24. And I know that in theory, these dots really wouldn't be shaded this way because they're not 3D, they're printed on our paper. But in my world, our paper just has them printed in a shaded way. The purples in this to me are very true purples. So we're going to stick with these instead of blue violets. Thank you guys so much. All of the support. Our lives have definitely been growing. It's like especially fast in the last like month. And I'm just so grateful to all of our new friends and people who've been stopping by to hang out. If you are newer, I also want you to know you can always request techniques, topics, occasions, whatever you need inspiration for, whatever you have questions on, and we will tackle them together. If it's not something I can show you or do in that moment, Melissa can tell you, I will add it to the next live and we will make sure it gets handled. All right, so we did V09, V17, and then V15 is going to be our highlight. And the V's are the one spot I would tell you that Copic really needs to like assess their color options. Like I'm tempted to try Olos just to get some extra purples to work in with my other markers. All right, so that is our super cute little cupcake. And we were already so whimsical. Why not just add some highlight, you know? Make it full cartoony, full shine. Let's just go for it, right? So we're gonna add a big shine mark to our cherries. That. Yeah, Carrie, the paper crafting and card making community, I do really feel super lucky to have met you guys and found my way to this side of crafting and the internet because my day job is all social media all the time. And let me tell you, it is scary out there, man. So I love seeing how supportive and sweet this side of the internet can be. Here we go. I won't go too crazy, but I just think a little bit of shading. Oh, Leslie, those cherries would look good with a touch of gloss. Hmm. I'm worried I'll mess it up. At this point, I'm worried I'll mess it up. Let's see. Deanne said she wants to see the gel with the foil. Oh, yeah, we can do that. We'll do that on Tuesday. And let's see, we got a request for some sympathy cards. We can work that in too. That's no problem. But what Dee's asking for is the glossy gel, this guy. You can put this through a stencil and then let it dry and run it through your mink with foil, and it'll foil it onto whatever your stencil was for. So you need to lay down. You're a bad dog. Stop it. No, go lay down. Sorry about that. She's crazy. Carrie, we are live for Pink and Mean every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And February was a year that we've been hanging out. I think my husband just heard her bark and came to rescue me from the crazy dog. He really deserves a husband trophy, man. He streams too, so he gets it. And he said she wants to be a famous YouTube pup. She probably does. She's crazy. She's a pit bull mix. They said with a boxer, but who knows? He got her from a rescue. And I think they just wanted to say she wasn't a pit bull so that she would get adopted faster. All right, we're going to run this through the big shot. She lives on the floor, so I always have to do that off camera. Okay, we mink foil over here often. We love a mink. I cannot be trusted with hot tools. So those hot plate foils are never going to be in the cards for me. And lucky for me, Pink and Main has decided to go the mink route, and it has been a game changer for us over here. All right, so that is our super cute cupcake. Let's get centered back up a little bit. And we need to check to see if this, look, Melissa's trying to get me with some heat embossing. I just think the yay for cake would be so cute, right? It's already like such a fun vibe for this card. Oh no, Miss Judy B, no shingles. It's been a while, hasn't it? I thought they were supposed to go away after like a week. Let's see. Yeah, the mink foils are definitely addicting, and I think part of it is because it's so much easier to get like a couple different foilable panels or a couple different like things to try, right? Versus the ones where you need those metal dies. I feel like those are for the ones you're investing. You need to make sure that that is a design or a sentiment that you know you're going to use over and over and over. I think I maybe blue. I'm not committing to heat embossing, but I will commit to blue. If I can find the blue. Where did you go? So we have a barbershop ink. And I think the blue will be dark enough to still be very legible, but bright enough to hang out with the rest of our image. And honestly, I think one was good. Oh no, Miss Judy B, I hope you feel better soon. Shingles is no joke, man. Yeah, I love a pink sentiment too, but my concern is that the dress shop ink from Pink and Main is not going to match the undertones of the pink cherries that we did, where I knew that the barbershop blue was going to be a lot closer. So let's get these back in here. And yay for cake. Yay for cake. And we're going to tape it in 2 spots. Okay. Oh, I got this popped right through. Big shot again. And then we'll assemble and grab some confetti. And the confetti can make up for not having a sparkly sentiment. So we have our fresh giant roll of foam tape. And we're going to pop this cupcake up. One more. We're going to have to get a little strategic when it comes to our sentiment because the die cuts out so much of the dead space, which I love. I love, love. But it does make it a little more tricky when you're trying to pop it up. You could also cut multiple layers of the die with just regular cardstock or some scraps. I'm not committing. I want to make sure that I have room. I think I need to shift that down a little bit. So as long as you don't press your image down, that foam isn't going to lock in. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I kind of have the stems there, but I'm looking for kind of equal spacing between my pebble top right here and the flower, and then the pebble bottom and the cupcake. So I think that looks pretty good to me. We're gonna just go for it. Yeah, multi-cut the sentiment and stack it. That's in theory what I would do, but I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that. We've already been here for a minute. All right, we're just gonna cut some slivers. And on these areas that do have a little more space behind them, we're just gonna add our foam there. And of course, it's just like a little. And that one, there we go. I am gonna throw it out to you guys while I finish though. If anyone has a vote for what color or colors of confetti, it doesn't have to be names, just like general colors. What do you guys think we should be aiming for? I wasn't even thinking I can't have foam up there because I'm gonna layer them. Should we go like full rainbow confetti? Should we just do pink, just do teal? What do you guys think? I want it covered more. I want to just take this one off. Pop it in just a little bit further. There we go. That's what I want. Yay for cake. I love how that sits just like right there. Teal and pink, purple, teal and pink, clear and glitter, clear. I got 2 votes for clear and 2 votes for teal and pink. Let me grab our whole little tray and we can take a look. Pink and purple rainbow. So if we did go clear, we have the diamond confetti that's just like silver. And if we did teal, I would probably lean sea foam. What do we say? Teal and pink. That's way too bright. We have like the ruby that kind of matches in with that a little better. I also saw someone said purple. I guess that's the closer purple. So those are kind of our top four if we don't just do rainbow. Karen said we need a yellow. Pink and purple, rainbow. Mix it up. Yeah, let's mix it up. We've already come this far. You guys know I have a too much gene. Let's just lean into it all the way. Why not? All right, so we're gonna go ruby, ruby slippers, peaches and cream, eggnog, sea foam, and purple orchid. And we'll just do like one or two of each. Right, we can kind of play with placement for where they are. Let me grab my new little pink and main pokey tool. Use all the colors I picked. All right, I'm here for it. You guys know I have a hard time saying no on my own. I'm certainly not going to say no to you. Maybe like a yellow over there, a little yellow over there. This yellow is really soft because I just think that this yellow is going to be too bright. So I think that the balance to that is adding in some of the orange, that peaches and cream. Will pull. Maybe we do peaches and skip yellow because peaches is going to look pretty yellow. And then we can bring in a blue. I just realized we didn't, I skipped blue. So maybe that little guy there. And I just like to take a couple little ones out and kind of place them on my desk. I like to tuck some. I like to have some kind of overlapping the edge of my cardstock. Oh, thank you, Miss Judy B. Yeah, I got these little boxes on Amazon. They come in really nice little plastic bags, so you definitely don't have to change that up if you don't want to. But I just really love being able to see exactly what I'm working with. So the blue I'm going to grab is the delphinium. It's a little bit of a truer blue. And that way it stands out and it looks different than the teal. I just don't want them to get too, I don't want them to be confused for each other. I want it to look like a true blue. Let's maybe trade. You can go there. You can come down here. This is a lot of sequins, but I love them. Yeah, I think that looks super fun. I don't think it's too distracting. I think it leans into that whimsical feeling. So let's go in with our glue. Just kind of tuck. In my head, I need you all to know that I'm doing the Kathy Zilski boop. I just feel like that's her thing and I can't actually say it out loud, but it is a habit. It is a habit of mine at this point to say it in my head. This big old blue guy down here. Here we go. sorry, yeah, the containers that I got are from Amazon. What did I do with the bag? Over here. Let me see if I can get you the. I've linked them in some past lives. So it's a 24 pack of small clear containers. Um, those might be the bigger size. I'll put a link in the comments when we're done. That's what I did last time, and that seemed to work out good. So there are our sweet little confetti dots. It's just like a little party on a card, right? We have our yay for cake. We have all our fun colors, which is actually on a card base, so I can actually mail it out. So yeah, I just think it's so fun. Yes, I will. I can't add them to the description, Judy, but I can put them in the comment section underneath when we're done. So I'll do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This one was so fun for me. I know we went a little longer than normal, but I appreciate everybody's support and all of your comments. And I now have a couple requests in for next week. So next week we will do something sympathy card related. We will do, we'll play around with our glossy gel and this glossy gel with a stencil and some foiling, and it'll be fun. So any other requests that you guys have, you can leave them if you're watching this after and as a replay. You can always leave a comment too. I go back and check usually on Monday nights to prep for Tuesday. So yeah, I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope everyone stays safe and warm, and hopefully the sun starts shining wherever you are soon. I hope you all have a great time enjoying the solar eclipse on Monday, because I won't see you before then. But we will be back here on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day and happy crafting.